The race for Los Angeles District Attorney is being hotly contested. Incumbent DA George Gascon's efforts to implement progressive criminal justice reforms have generated pushback from within his own office, the broader law enforcement community, and some in the general public. He was the subject of at least 2 failed attempts to qualify recalls. The concerns about crime are reflected in the polling results of black voters. Nearly 1 in 4 have been victims of violent crime or have someone close to them who has been a victim. 1 in 5 black voters have personally been victims of property crime in the last 2 years. A majority of respondents feel less safe than they did a year or 2 ago, but they reject the notion that criminal justice reform has gone too far. This year, black voters will be looking for candidates who speak to the complexity of the issues as opposed to a one-size-fits-all approach. Nearly half of black voters have an unfavorable view of DA Gascon, but his challengers are largely unknown. Nearly half of the black voters are also undecided, which means there's a clear opportunity for candidates to connect with black voters. Our poll makes 3 things abundantly clear. Black voters matter. Black voters are closely following this race, and the candidates for DA have a lot of work to do. KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to the mobilization and use of the franchise to empower our audience to identify and pursue their interests in advancing equity, inclusive representation, and multiracial solidarity. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Dr. Nicordelai Corte. We welcome your feedback.
Ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed, yes. Living every moment, no regrets. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed, yes, I'm blessed, yes. Waking up, thanking God. Every day is feeling just like Sunday. Wifey fly by my side. Green light, everything is going my way. Riding clean, living dreams. Just left the barber and I'm feeling like Midas. Heard him say, give him praise. What's in the water got you acting like this? Ain't a day go by that I don't try to thank the Lord up above. And if you wonder why I'm loving life, come close and I tell you what's up.
It's time to set our intentions, set our self-care, and find our focus. This is Mindful Mondays with Saharah Ali on KBLA Talk 1580.
We are indeed blessed to start our week with affirmation, meditation, and intention. She's a yoga teacher. She is a sound healer, sound bath expert, and so much more, including astrologer Saharah Ali. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, KBLA family. Welcome to Mindful Monday, where we get our minds right for the week by setting positive intentions to honor our mind and body through meditation, prayer, and affirmation as we step unapologetically into our week, being on purpose with faith, truth, wisdom, and power. And this week, for sure, we are blessed. We move into the 3rd month of the year, March, on Friday, opening the season of spiritual humility and receptivity, expanding our perception, allowing ourselves to embrace greater possibilities of our lives for change. It's said we have an average of 60,000 thoughts per day, and 45% of these thoughts are the same thoughts we had yesterday. However, we can exert power over our thoughts by directing our attention like a spotlight to focus on something specific, like being blessed, like voting, doing the right thing. But understanding every cell in our body is conscious and inseparable from our thoughts or emotions. A large part of managing our thoughts is supported by prayer and meditation. Therefore, our Mindful Monday intention is to consciously put our spiritual life into practice by clearing our thoughts, our minds, and honoring divine wisdom within to celebrate truth, guidance, and wholeness with grace. Now's the time to remember every moment of our life is sacred. And practicing mindful meditation is simple and can be done anytime and any place. The act of meditation is the process of listening to God, activating the wisdom of our soul, connecting us to the Most High. So be right here, right now, and mindfully bring your awareness to your breath. Inhale, taking a big breath, and exhale, center, and relax. Inhale, and be on purpose in this moment, opening your heart and your mind. Take this time to be here now, one with your breath. Breathe in love from the Most High. Trust that you are blessed. Exhale, calling on your angels and ancestors to aid you with surrendering negative thoughts, surrendering feelings or beliefs from all darkness in your life right here, right now. Inhale, calling in truth and wisdom for guidance, opening yourself to truth and wisdom and guidance under grace. Exhale, honoring the power of positive thinking, releasing stagnant beliefs, embracing self-love. Just breathe and relax, allowing yourself to release emotional and mental judgments. Now inhale, open, ready to release anything blocking your fulfillment, blocking change, and your rebirth. Exhale, relax. Relax and connect to the desires of your heart. Inhale, committing to changing your mind to change your life, believing in your greatness for success and prosperity, willing to change your mind to change your life. Exhale, making a promise to release, to let go, and embrace a new perspective for your life right here, right now. Now just breathe. Breathe and relax and center yourself, integrating your wholeness with peace and love. Feel that. Feel and open yourself to integrating, knowing the power of your thoughts. Now inhale, honoring our Mindful Monday affirmation, taking the biggest breath you've had all morning. Hold that breath, breathing in life. And exhale, listen with an open heart, listen with self-love, listen with compassion. Our Mindful Monday affirmation. Just relax and listen. Today, I willingly change my mind, honoring divine wisdom within, celebrating truth, guidance, and wholeness with grace. Today, I willingly change my mind, honoring divine wisdom within, celebrating truth, guidance, and wholeness with grace. Relax and breathe. And just think about it, 60,000 words, 60,000 thoughts per day, and 45% of those thoughts are the same thoughts we had yesterday. So give yourself permission today to change your mind, honoring divine wisdom, guiding your life, and celebrating wholeness with grace. Change your mind, change your life. Thank you, Dominique, Tavis Smiley, Miles, and the 1580 KBLA family. Have an unapologetically mindful, blessed week. Changing your mind to change your life.
Before I let you go, Mrs. Ali, I have a friend who's not even into astrology at all. A lot of my friends, and just myself and others. It just seems like everybody's going through it right now. Mercury's not retrograde, right? I know it's not. I know you said there's a bunch of planets going backwards or appearing to be going backwards. We have the perception.
No, there's no retrogrades right now. The issue is we're having oppositions. Like opposites attract each other, but the oppositions are challenging us to look at the shadow side of ourselves and to reframe where we give our power to and what we give our power to. We have like Venus is in Aquarius, Mars is in Aquarius. We have all of these Aquarius planets going on. And Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and Saturn. So it's like, let's change and let's bring some new structure. And if you don't change, we're going to bust it up anyway. And you will have to have
change or get changed.
Right.
Wow.
And then we have, the sun in Pisces and Mercury is there, and something else is in Pisces. Saturn is in Pisces. And so Pisces is, they're beautiful. It's ruled by Neptune, but it is also that part of us that can either be really spiritual or really ignorant. That's the only way I can put it.
It's one extreme or the other.
Let me change that word. Like Pisces is that part of us. It rules the third eye. It's like it allows us to have clarity, or it allows us to lie to ourselves. So it's deception or clarity. Which one? It's illusion or reality. And so where do you want to put your attention? On the illusion, making the illusion your reality, or reality and busting up the illusion so that you could have truth? So all of this stuff going on with Aquarius information, I won't say what I usually say, but with the Aquarius information, with the Aquarius energy, we are like scattered. It's just like, we're scattered. And so a lot of things is about going in the world behind your eyes and meditating and connecting mindfully to your intentions, connecting mindfully to your values, and not getting distracted by the illusions that are in front of you and quelling your emotions to have erratic behavior.
Yeah.
It's, Saturn and Aquarius and Saturn and Pisces and Pluto is in Aquarius. We've never lived through this. So everybody's having an adjustment period. So it's chaotic. But in that chaos, there is also wisdom. There's also light. And that's the call to action. Can we mindfully sit still for a moment, reframe our values, and give ourselves permission to step into the wholeness? It's spiritual reparations. What is your power? What is your gift? What is it that you need to support you in fulfilling your life's purpose, your life's gifts? How are you willing to shine your light?
Right.
How are you willing to take your power back from things that don't serve your highest good? Say no to say yes to yourself. Change your mind, change your life.
Now I see why you were talking about listening to God. Saharah Ali, thank you for that insight. I've had a couple people reach out also and tell me how much your words, your affirmations, and the meditations help them to get grounded and feel better inside for the week, in the month and days ahead. So thank you for all that you do.
And thank you and Tabitha and Miles for holding the space and allowing me to have this moment to share insight and wisdom. I am so grateful.
If you want to take a sound bath or a yoga class or whatever, go to SaharahAli.com. It's SaharahAli.com. If you want an appointment, you want a reading, astrological or otherwise, or some life coaching, you can call Elise, Saharah's assistant, at 213-628-9783. That's 213-628-9783. And we've got some time right now if you want to call me, 800-920-1580. We've got school board candidates coming up shortly. But we have a chance to talk. That's what we do around here. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. And I want to break down a little bit when we come forward the people's budget, because the people's budget is meeting with the mayor this week to unpack the results of those surveys. And I want to talk to you about it. It's not too late to get involved. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do Black history every single day. In fact, As the only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi, we are Black History. Our annual Black History Month luncheon is fast approaching, and we want to be sure to give you ample time to get your company, organization, church, or group to join us at this year's celebration on the last day of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyaudio.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyaudio.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your Black.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows that Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Are you facing an unexpected financial emergency? You need WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com can help you get up to $3,000 fast. WeFixMoney.com is free to use, available 24/7, and has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Go to the name you trust, WeFixMoney.com. If you need emergency cash up to $3,000 for bills or anything else, type WeFixMoney.com directly into your browser. That's WeFixMoney.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
It does, and I want to invite you, actually taking place tomorrow, the People's Budget LA is going to do the presentation of their survey results. This is led by Black Lives Matter Los Angeles, but it is a coalition of different organizations that do this People's Budget, which means how do you want to spend the dollars that the city has in resources? What would you like to see done with them? It's not too late, actually, to take the survey. You can go to peoplesbudgetla.com/survey, peoplesbudgetla.com/survey. You could also come to the event. There's an event tomorrow where the presentation of the findings from the People's Budget will be made to the mayor, to Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, and then she responds to what the people are asking. This is something that happened last year. It's happening again this year. This year I will be moderating that. It's at the Center for Black Power, which is 3423 West 43rd Place in Leimert Park, Africatown, USA. It's not open to, it's closed, they say, to law enforcement and haters. Everyone else is welcome at the Center for Black Power, 3423 West 43rd Place. It's right next to the Metro stop for Leimert Park. So that is happening. And like I said, it's not too late to take that survey. It doesn't take long. It simply asks you your opinion, how you think city dollars should be spent and where you think they should be reduced. So that's coming up. Also, I'm going to Sacramento today and looking forward to that. It's going to be a quick turnaround trip. I'm being honored by the Assembly as an unsung hero. Not sure what that consists of. Assemblymember Reggie Jones Sawyer has selected me for this honor on the assembly floor, so I'll send pics. I'll send, maybe I'll be able to, we'll see if I can stream or not. In case you haven't been tracking it, KBLA 1580 has released a survey about environmental issues, the things that impact our community specifically, pollution and climate justice, and how it hits Black communities, Latina, and low-income neighborhoods. And it's part of our mission to give likely voters, in this case, LA County Black likely voters, a voice that we often do not have in these conversations. We're simply left out, or we're lumped in with everyone else's opinion, and that's just not, it's not accurate. It's not accurate because we vote above our weight class, we're heavy hitters at the ballot box. And we do have complex viewpoints that are often overlooked. I mean, I guess the extreme example of that is the former president saying that Black people like him because he's facing 91 charges. He's been repeatedly indicted, he said. Black people like him because they feel he's facing injustice, just like we do. It's one of the more overtly discriminatory comments that I've heard from a politician in recent history, and that's saying a lot. Right off the bat, that statement says, Black people are a monolith and we all think the same way. It also states that we make our political decisions based on foolish things like whether or not, well, I guess facing injustice isn't a foolish thing, but we'll vote for you just because you have an indictment. That we don't think through, we don't care about policy or how things impact our community. And if you look at both of these surveys of Black likely voters in LA County, the first one we did, which was on public safety, specifically focusing on the district attorney's race, and the second one talking about environmental issues and the disproportionate impact on communities of color, low-income communities, and specifically Black folks, it's clear that we care about policy. It's not just about, oh, we're going to vote for, Steve Garvey because he got a bunch of baby mamas and doesn't talk to his kids. Imagine if he came out and said that. It would be a huge scandal. The former president, 45, comes out and says Black people like him because he's got felony indictments, and that's supposed to be okay. And apparently he's got some kind of x-ray vision where he can see Black people in the dark, but can't see white people in the dark or in the light. I don't know. In any case, to me, those kind of sweeping statements, Black people do this. No, the opposite of that is when we tell ourselves, and I know Talking Point Tuesday is tomorrow, but when we tell ourselves that we are not unified and Black people ain't ish and there's no Black agenda, the reason I push back on that is because we are very united on certain things. When we voted for President Barack Obama, for example, it was in the 90%, in the 90s range. I don't remember the exact number, but almost all of us chose him. When it comes to, certain things, we are united. When you look at reparations, for example, which we talk about every Friday on this show, Freedman Fridays, it is overwhelming. It's in the high 80s of Black people who feel that we deserve reparations now, and that includes cash payments. It's almost across the board. We are united in certain places. We are not a monolith. There's a lot of detail in there. And if you look at, our surveys, that shows up again. We're not all the same. There are lots of nuances. But that said, we are united around certain things. And one of those things seems to be the fact that climate impacts, the climate emergency, global warming, disproportionately impacts Black people and communities of color and low-income people. We are united that. We get that. And that's what this survey shows. Now, we can get into parsing what are the reasons for that, right? Or what are the solutions to it. But we are well united on this. Our surveys show that Black voters, 74% of Black voters believe that low-income communities and communities of color will be most affected by climate change. 74% say we are much more. 14% say we are somewhat more. So that means 88% of Black voters get it. I'm saying that this is my spin, the get it. But 88% of Black voters believe that low income and communities of color are most impacted by climate change. You could call that unity in the sense that we understand the threat and we know something must be done about it. Interestingly enough, when you break that down, Black voters are saying that only 45% say that Latino voters are much more impacted. 30% say somewhat more. So that's at 75% for total impact. And when you go to people of color in general, which is something a lot of folks are pushing back on overall, 58% say people of color in general are more impacted. 26% say somewhat more, for, again, a total of 84%. So we are seeing the threat. And to me, that's good news, because when we see the threat, we typically respond to it. And I'm proud to be part of what KBLA is doing. If you want to see those results for yourself, go to KBLA1580.com right now, and you can see that, along with all the information you need to start figuring out what to do about that ballot. Okay, it's time for School Board District 1. That's next after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The spacecraft that touched down on the moon last week is alive and well after tipping over onto its side. Houston-based Intuitive Machines guided the Odysseus lander onto the moon, marking the first touchdown by a U.S.-built spacecraft since the Apollo 17 mission in 1972. The company says all indications are that the lander is stable and at the intended landing site near the moon's south pole. In California, hip-hop artist and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member Chuck D is scheduled to speak at the Fresno City College's Speakers Forum. The African-American artist is set to take the stage on Wednesday, February 28th at 6 o'clock. The event will be held at the Old Administration Building Auditorium as part of events commemorating Black History Month. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org. Is this the takeover?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Another rough day for both of LA's NBA teams. The Lakers lost by 10 at Phoenix. The Clippers lost by 16 at home to Sacramento. All 5 Lakers starters scored in double figures, but the Lakers got only 16 points off the bench. LeBron finished with 28 points and 12 assists. The Lakers are still 3 games behind Dallas for the 8th and final playoff spot in the Western Conference. The Lakers are back in action Wednesday night against the Clippers, who also need to regroup. Paul George did not play yesterday. He's got a sore left knee. Norman Powell started in George's absence. He led the Clippers with 21. Utah's women's basketball team snapped USC's 7-game winning streak. Utah won by 6 at Galen Center. The Trojans dropped to 11-5 in the Pac-12. USC freshman Juju Watkins had a game-high 30 points. The 12th time this season, the Compton native has had 30 or more. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
The thing no one tells you about periods is that your flow changes every day, and so should your tampon size. Tampax has 5 absorbencies to match your changing flow. If it hurts to remove, go down a size. If it leaks, go up a size. Only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help give you up to 100% leak and odor-free protection. All-day comfort and protection for under $5 a month. Based on average U.S. consumer usage at manufacturer suggested price. However, pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer. Excludes 8-count.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
And it's time to think our LA Unified School District seats through. We are going deep on District 1, which is where many of your African American and Latino voters live. And it has become quite a hotly contested contest. So we are going to hear from as many of those candidates as make themselves available. Joining us right now, a lifelong Democrat who spent the last 27 years in public service. She's an educator. She's got a bachelor's degree in psychology, a master's degree in education, concentration in counseling, and an EDD in educational leadership for social justice. Dr. Didi Watts, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Dominique?
I'm blessed. How are you doing?
I am doing well and blessed as well.
So, big shoes to fill, right? George McKenna is legendary in the education world, and that's the seat you are striving for. You've been a teacher, you've been a school psychologist. Why? And you currently work for a school board member, Tanya Ortiz Franklin. Why the move to the school board?
Well, really, because I have a 2.5-year-old granddaughter, and I want her to be able to attend her neighborhood school and get a great education. And all of the students who are in the class of like 2043 with her. I had to leave my neighborhood and be bused out of the neighborhood to get a great education. And I had to do similar things for my children. And so now, over my past 27 years, I've had a chance to work in the various roles: teacher, school psychologist, principal, special ed administrator, and nonprofit leader. And I have seen across traditional district and charter and private schools, because I worked in them and my children attended a mix of those schools. So bringing all of that perspective in, I believe that I can be a voice on the school board where we can think openly about how do we better support our students to make sure that they're able to thrive in their neighborhood schools.
And there are big disparities across LAUSD from district to district, neighborhood to neighborhood, in the quality of what we're getting. How can you make that more than just a campaign slogan?
Yeah, it's really about looking at our resources. The role of a board member is very clear, right? The board sets policy, revises policy, passes the budget, and LA Unified has a huge $18 billion budget. Supervising and evaluating the superintendent, including hiring and firing, and authorizing or not authorizing charter schools. And you know, those are the huge roles. And so really thinking about where are we placing our resources. If we say that we are a district that's committed to equity, then our money needs to follow that investment, right? Knowing that there's disparity across the district in terms of our communities, making sure that the students who have been historically underserved, our Black and brown youth, are recipients of the services and supports, meaning the funding that we have needs to go to those schools so that we can improve those schools. And that means that not every school is going to get the same amount of money. It means giving to those who need it now, and maybe that looks different in a different board district. Maybe BD4 doesn't need as much of the funding that BD1 needs. And so we have to be having those conversations.
Sounds like a fight. I mean, it's supposedly we have that now, right? We allocate according to equity.
Well, I mean, we have the Student Equity Needs Index,
right,
but I think we need to go even deeper into that to say, okay, if we have schools that have single-digit proficiency, we have to be willing to do something different about that. If what we have been doing isn't working, then we have to be willing to engage in those kinds of conversations. And that's where your board members are really important, to be at the table having those hard conversations with their colleagues across the district to say, hey, it doesn't make sense for us to continue to do this. We need to put a further investment in this area to make sure that we're having all of our students rise and not just some.
When you look at, when you look at where we are right now in our LAUSD, one of the big controversies is charter schools and the new policy around whether or not charters will share campuses with traditional schools, because, of course, charters are public schools, quiet as it's kept. Where are you on that?
Oh, I absolutely believe that our charter school students are public school students, right? And we have to serve all of our students. And the issue has been an adult issue, right? Adults fighting over whether or not students should be co-located on the same campus. as adults, we're supposed to be modeling for our students. We should be teaching them how we collaborate. We can work together. We have seen examples of great co-locations that are occurring here in BD1 and across the district.
We've
So
seen
why can't we come
problematic ones
together?
too, though, haven't we?
We have seen some problematic ones, and what we have to be able to do is have those conversations, be willing to say, okay, this isn't working, and why isn't this working? This should not be an issue about taking resources from students. It should be about how can we work together to make sure all of our students get the resources they need to thrive. We're literally saying these are students who live in the same community, may go to the same church, live on the same block, but when they get on school campuses, they have to be separated, and we can't give,
Right.
one set of students resources.
But
can
I mean,
think
to
as
be clear,
adults.
charter schools are public schools, but they're also non-union. They don't have the same kind of they have more freedom, which means they don't always have the same requirements. And in some cases, they're taking kids off of out of other schools and cherry picking. So there are some issues. I don't know if it's just as simple as saying, they're all the same kids that that live in the same neighborhoods, because there are structures that we as adults put in place or don't put in place to care for those children.
Yeah, but the vast majority of our students are coming from our community, right? So at the start of the charter school movement, yes, maybe there were challenges in that way, but having been a charter school principal, my students came from the community in which we served. And my school was on 51st in Vermont, and that's where my students came from, within a 3-mile radius, right? And so we weren't cherry picking. My school was a school that had about 15% students with special needs. So when you think about it, if we just sit and think rationally about the parents who want to make sure their kids are getting a great education, parents aren't focused on, is this a charter or is this a traditional district school? Their question is this a good school, and is my child going to thrive?
Right. And is my child safe? Of course. What
Yes.
What is your number one priority for the kids in District 1 right now?
Making sure that our students are achieving academically, but in order to do that, we have to tend to their social, emotional, and mental health needs, right? We need to make sure that coming out of COVID, and truth be told, we know that before COVID, students were struggling, but we have seen it exacerbated. So how are we going to support the social, emotional, and mental health needs of our students in order for them to be able to thrive academically?
Yeah, have we done enough? I mean, have we done enough to? I know we were struggling before, but as a mom who went through COVID with a kid, do you think what should be done to get us back socially, emotionally, and even academically back?
I think we have to be really earnestly thinking about how are we using the minutes that we have throughout the day. Some schools are providing an advisory course or advisory class for students, and they're focusing in on the social emotional development of students. We know that our Black student achievement schools, many of those schools have psychiatric social workers. In fact, my daughter works as a psychiatric social worker in one of those schools. And so we see that the students are getting the additional support, but the reality is there aren't enough people to fill those positions. And so we have to be working with community partners that are doing the work to bring them in and make sure that we're able to support all of the needs of the students.
Dr. Didi Watts is running for LA Unified School District 1. Give us your elevator pitch, 1 minute, why we should vote for you.
As a 27-year educator working across multiple roles in the district and across the education sector, wanting to make sure that my granddaughter and all the students in the class of 2043 can attend their neighborhood school and get a great education, I bring a perspective to the board that no other candidate brings. I'm already engaged in the work as a chief of staff, writing policy, providing budget recommendations. And so if I am the person who's most qualified for the role, I hope that when you check the box, you will check it for Dr. Didi Watts.
Okay, tell us how to find out more about you and how to follow you.
You can follow me on all social media at DIDI4 LAUSD. That's on all social media platforms. And my website is DIDI Watts, WATTS, the number 4, schoolboard.com.
Well, thank you so much for checking in with us this morning and letting us know all about your candidacy.
Thank you so much for having me.
We are learning. We are getting it together for this election. We are your election information station. Don't forget to go to KBLA1580.com and you can hear any conversations you missed. In fact, this one is available right now on YouTube, but will be available shortly on KBLA1580.com. More straight ahead, only right here.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. Visit jpmorganchase.com/racial equity and get the tools to help reach your financial goals.
Do you support public education? More than 38,000 educators at United Teachers Los Angeles do too. Together, we have fought for a better public education for our students and communities, and having you on our side has been essential in our fight for better public schools. Together, we will continue to work for public schools with green spaces, more mental health staff, smaller class sizes at every grade level, and a higher investment in the Black Student Achievement Plan. We are UTLA, and you make us stronger.
The first time I tried to quit vaping, I told myself that it was like a mountain that I had to climb over. And once I got to the other side, it would be clear. But I couldn't make it over. What really got me to quit was my little sister. I saw her vaping. So I was back in the mountain, but this time, she was up there with me. It's weird what you can do for others that you won't do for yourself.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So, no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
We're for Washington. We love Febrez's new scent. Refresh and energize.
So much we made a song about it.
I can't escape this feeling inside. Refresh and energize. It's a mood, it's a vibe. Breathing for the first time. So free, so alive. Breathe happy for breeze. Smells like paradise. Breathe happy for breeze. La, 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 la.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now. So you hear me talking about this groundbreaking survey that KBLA 1580 has done, and it is available to you right now on KBLA1580.com if you want to follow along. This is a survey of what likely voters, black voters in LA County, think about the climate emergency. And you've heard me talking about this for years, right? Even before I came to KBLA, because while I know that for me, ending anti-blackness, ending racism, reparations, education, particularly literacy among our children, there are many issues that are very important to me, but I believe that climate justice is really the bottom line, because without a habitable planet, none of these other issues mean anything, at least not to our children and grandchildren. And the reason why I say that, because I've been watching these trends, and what our survey shows, it shows that we are paying attention and we get it. Whether or not, we see the full picture, I don't know that anybody does, but at least we're on the curve, right? Scientists now are doing something called climate modeling, where you can look at where things are going, where we're headed as a planet, as a society, if we do not take extreme measures for change. So the modeling that was done in 2020 showed that within 50 years, 30% of the world's population will be living in places where the average temperature is around 85 degrees. That's average, which means some days are going to be a lot hotter and some will be not as hot. But that's really, really hot. It's much hotter than where we are now. Right now, only 1% of planet Earth is that hot. And we're talking about uninhabited parts of the Sahara Desert. And that's dramatic. Our children are tapped into the fact that, there are a lot of predictions coming from scientists that if we do not clean up our act within 7 to 8 years, we could get to that tipping point where there is no turning it around, or it will be so difficult to turn it around that it is highly unlikely. We are not at the point of no return yet, though. We have plenty of time and we have the technology to fix this. Do we have the will? That is the question. And I feel like this is part of why the survey that we've done is so important. We have to have the will, and we're going to have to push our lawmakers and policymakers in that direction. And I think our survey shows that we know this. And I'll tell you why when we come forward. We're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
And we're glad you are here. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in. So what I was talking about is the fact that according to our survey, a large number, in fact, a significant majority of black voters believe that that these are serious problems, right? We're at 69% extremely or very serious, and 19% say somewhat serious. But the majority of us do not think that LA County is going in the right direction. 47%, well, okay, it's not quite a majority, but it's the majority. It's a plurality here. 47% say we're going in the wrong direction when it comes to this issue. 47%, 20% don't know, and 32% say we're going in the right direction. And I think the way this question is stated, it says, do you feel things in Los Angeles County generally are going in the right direction or the wrong direction? It's in the context of a climate justice conversation. but I know that we're reacting to the things that are most emotionally resonant for us, which is usually houselessness, crime, right, and affordability. Those are the issues that touch us day in, day out, day in, day out. But when it comes to the climate emergency, I think some of it has to do with us not being as familiar with the initiatives that are starting to take place, particularly in the City Hall in LA and also in the Department of Water and Power. Some of the initiatives being taken move forward by Metro. But again, you see a big disparity between party affiliation, with 82% of Republicans saying LA County is going in the wrong direction, and just 43% of Democrats saying that. No party preferences at 53%. And men and women are pretty evenly split on this. 47, 46, men and women pretty much evenly split on whether or not we're going in the wrong direction. Younger people, under 45, more likely to believe that LA County is going in the wrong direction. 56%. To me, that tracks, because you see younger people not only evaluating their lives based on the climate emergency, but also younger people becoming more disillusioned with mainstream Democratic Party politics and looking for a more progressive edge, a more bold kind of initiative in the climate crisis and across the board, whether it comes to foreign policy, whether it has to do with reparations. What my experience, now I'm just talking about my empirical contact as a radio host and activist with people, I find that younger people are impatient about change. They are not willing to wait. They want reparations now. They want us to address this climate emergency now, and they're tired of corporate politics. And I think it's time for us to take heed to that call. Talking school board, District 1, once again when we come forward after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Spacecraft since the Apollo 17 mission in 1972. The company says